Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Live. We are live. Today is September 15th, 2023. All right, man, we got the witches in town. We got the dollar up against daily breakout resistance. We got global markets on fire last night to the upside. We got everything working except for our markets. So far, right now, sitting here kind of stuck on stupid. NASDAQ leading the downside to my eye. Apple, pretty lit over there to the upside, with the rest of the market, I don't want to say down, but NASDAQ down. Vendor don't have a whole hell of a lot. We had a little bit of data that, the dollar decided to play rocket shot off of. So now the question is, what's next? You got the charts, you got the thoughts. Let's see what you got, man.
That's it? That's your whole intro?
Bro, what else is there? Fine. Fed next week. There.
I don't know.
Today is Friday, which means tomorrow is Saturday. What else?
Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I've already learned more than I learned from your first, 2 minutes of talking there. We're getting somewhere.
Well, I don't know if there's a whole hell of a lot to say. It's like we have the dollar trying to move higher, literally up against that area. I don't know that there's another story. Like personally, I don't know that there's another story that really exists. We keep on smashing, put in quotation marks, support to the downside, at least on the NASDAQ. So I'm not real sure what the story actually is, other than there's witches and we can fully expect, heaping help loads of dumb shit.
Okay, fine.
Is that better?
I guess so. I guess it's going to have to do.
It's Friday. What do you want? What do you want? Wait, I don't know. Let me sing you a song, Mr. Piano Man.
Definitely not that. Definitely not that. All right. Well, let's take a look at this chart. This is a 15-minute on the ES. I'm going to get rid of some stuff here. This buy side line that we were looking for yesterday, and we got it. I'm going to leave the line on there. I'm just going to get rid of the label. I'm going to leave it there because you can see, how that kind of acted as a pivot, right? You go back here, a bunch of price action below, and it was above. We got that nice little run up, broke below, held as resistance. So I'm going to leave that line up. Actually, I don't even need it there because we know that was the midpoint of several different. You had the midpoint of this down leg right here, right? And then of this bigger leg. So I've got lines there. We'll be able to identify that. I'm going to get rid of this regular trading hours gap because that has now been filled. We don't need that anymore. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. So what do we have left? Well, we've got this high up here, 45.70 half. I'm going to ignore this 618. Don't care a whole lot about that at the moment, but I think this line here, 45.70 and a half, and then you have the high from September 1st up there, 45.97, and then this old previous new week opening gap up at 46.14.75. So if it really, decides it wants to get going, these are the levels to look for. As far as pre-market overnight action, here's your London session high, 45.66. So on a bounce and a move up, I'd be looking at that as being a potential draw. With this target just above at 45.70.5. As far as downside goes, you can see these candles coming in here now. We got to go back to, so we've taken out all of the price action that occurred since midnight. You kind of had this area right in there that would have been sell side. That has now been taken. And can see this 15-minute fair value gap here. These two big candles, right? This first one filled on the way back down, but this was kind of the breakout candle. That's what started it yesterday. I'm going to drag that over, and we're going to keep that on watch. If it breaks below that, you can see it coming down into here. With the bottom of this, and we're going to look at a 60-minute too real quick and just see how that lines up. And this blue line right here is another new week opening gap. So if it comes down into here, if it decides to give up this fair value gap right in here, then we look to the bottom of this candle as a potential bounce area, and ultimately see what it does with this old new week opening gap. Obviously, we had quite the move up yesterday to take all that stuff out, and like you mentioned, after hours coming all the way up here, 45.65. As far as what they have in store today and which way they might take this thing, I don't have a lot of bias, because if I go to, I said we'd go to the 60-minute, see how this lines up. So there isn't a fair value gap in there in the 60-minute. In the 60-minute, it's right here where we just dipped into. So let's see if revisiting that was what needed to happen. You can see there wasn't a fair value gap left behind on the 60-minute on any of these candles until you get, there's a little one right in there, I guess. But there wasn't anything else that was left sort of unfilled. So this right in here, I think is kind of what I'll be watching early. See if we get, some candles closing below that. Not 60-minute candles, but, even say a series of 5-minute candles or something below that. Then I would start to look for the potential for more. But after that run yesterday and being near this midpoint, I really don't have a strong bias. If we look at the daily, we've got this huge area that, potentially could fill some of this in on this daily candle. Get a sense of where the midpoint of that comes in, and it's right in this same area, right? 45.40. So 45.40, 42, kind of right in here. Important zone, and really understanding, if that level becomes resistance again, looking at this daily chart, if we get down below 45.40 and that becomes resistance, then we could start heading lower. I think that level is key, I think, to see what we do with that. Again, this could come down and fill in some of this, but I don't think you'd want to see it fill it all in. I've got this volume imbalance marked down here. If we really decide to start pulling, if it gets under 45.40 and we start getting some momentum to the downside, maybe they want to come in down into this volume imbalance, which, isn't all that far. We're at 45.50 now, so it's 30 down from here would put us inside of that volume imbalance. That's certainly a possibility. But again, I don't have a strong lean one way or the other as to, what they're going to give us today. Just looking at the the chart.
I think the dollar bender, honestly, I think the dollar's going to tell a lot of the story in through here.
We say that, right? But it didn't really tell a whole lot yesterday, did it? Because
it kept on grinding higher, and then when it gave back, that was the fuel to the upside. So they were moving up together. Then the dollar gave back, and we made the move to the upside. Now we have the dollar pounding the upside, and tech can't catch a bid. It's like, so it's like it was, they were operating together yesterday, and then one gave out, right?
Yeah.
Dollar out, we got the moonshot. And right now we're
But they
getting
were grinding up together for a while.
for a while, and then when the dollar
Yeah.
got to that resistance at the, right in there on the daily, that it gave out there, and then we got the juice. And then today
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. So it's like, yeah, no, not everything is an absolute, but it's like, I
We'll
think
certainly keep an eye on it for sure. I mean, I was keeping tabs on it yesterday, both the dollar and UVXY. I think now UVXY is sub 13 still, right? Yeah, 1288. So I'll be watching that. See if that continues to melt lower. I think that takes some, probably some of what helped us yesterday was, we saw UVXY dip under 13 and just, had a couple of green candles in there, but, it just kept drifting lower. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the dollar. Looking at these daily charts side by side, what stands out to me is you mentioned, tech being weaker this morning, and you can see that you don't have that same gap on the daily right here, right? NASDAQ has already pulled down to the top of that previous candle. ES has not. The Dow has not. Right, so I'll kind of keep track of that. Let's see what else. Take a quick glance at the Bitcoin. If it's going to let me. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Come on. The charts are moving really slow this morning. We're at 26.4. This is not the right chart. This has all kinds of crap on it I don't want to see. There we go. That's the chart. That off of there. I'll be keeping an eye on Bitcoin as well. Obviously, Bitcoin dipping under that 25K level and taking out all of this, all these stops in here, and then rebounding. I think when we've got, we talk about jokingly about Nikola, right? Oh, we got calls into Nikola, risk on. Kind of a running joke in the Roadhouse. I think that when crypto is pumping, it certainly, helps our chances at moving to the upside. And we've talked in the past about how our markets and especially Bitcoin are pretty closely correlated. Sometimes there's some delays in there, but ultimately they end up sort of coming back together when you have one pumping and the other one not. One way or another, they tend to come back together. So, we've got this pullback on Bitcoin this morning as well. And into this 60-minute fair value you got right in here, this area that kind of started that run up, right? So it's also dropping kind of down into that area. So if we see Bitcoin below, say, 26,308, I got to look out for this level, 26,270. If it gets down below that, it might be, might want to watch your head and neck, so to speak, because if it really starts pulling back down, we could see weakness. Maybe we follow suit. So something else to keep an eye on. As far as the clocks go, I said I would kind of share that. in the mornings. As far as the clocks go, it looks like on the 13-minute, best chance for longs would be there isn't anything really that lines up all that well, but NQ kind of comes out of a chop zone at 11:15. That's Eastern. You got the ES potential buy pressure 1050. So perhaps kind of that 1050 to 1115 as a possibility to find an entry if there's a setup there and it's looking like we can go higher. That may not be a bad time. And I have potential sell pressure on both at 1330. So 130 Eastern, if we are trading, bouncing up into a fair value gap that looks like, all right, this area may be supported in here or resistance in here around 130 Eastern. That you may get some help. There may be some selling pressure in there that joins you. After that, there isn't much else until it's 5 o'clock. So 1457 is the last potential for buy pressure on ES. That 1330, that's the only time that lines up on both. So potential buying around 11 a.m., selling around 1:30, and then buying around, 3 o'clock? And that's about all I got.
All right, very nice. Sonny, what you got, buddy?
Good morning, everyone. So we have so much news today. So
Are you lying again?
Yesterday. Yes.
Okay. Damn it.
Yes.
Got me again.
Yeah, I accepted. I've accepted it now. So Goldman and BM they maintain their buy, outperforming Adobe price target 625 and above. Amazon, Wedbush outperformed price target 180, but looking at Amazon today, it's selling off 142.89 right now. The news side, so Disney, we saw some spikes yesterday that they're looking to sell the ABC to Nexstar, and it seems to be confirmed there in talks are roughly about $10 billion. So if you see flow news, I think I'll keep that on watch. China has imposed sanctions on Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin for supplying weapons to Taiwan. They did this a few months ago, so this may be old news. They're just putting it out again. Everybody knows, hopefully, that strike has started at the GM, Ford, and Stellantis, affecting popular model. They say roughly affecting 24,000 vehicles per week. From those strikes. China put out some data last night. It pumped the markets overnight. They said the industrial production rose by 4.5% year over year. Retail sales rose 4.6%. I haven't checked what Baba, JD, and all of those did this morning yet, but some of the headlines I read was even the data was good. Those two were still being kept down, haven't gotten as much move up on that. TSMC has told its major supplier to delay the delivery of high-end chip-making equipment on demand worries. But they've also delayed their plant reopening in Arizona to 2025 from 2024. And Salesforce is looking to hire about 3,000 people across departments after they laid off a bunch earlier this year. So that was an interesting bit of news that I think keep to see if there's some others are gonna follow suit or what happens here. On the dark pool side, we had really large dark pool into XLF, almost 72% of the 30-day average volume at 3501. Other large one was XOP, 28% at 152.78. I posted the dark pool dashboard in my room. So we did get flow into BAC. Goldman Sachs had 10%, BAC another 20%. And on the energy side, we had ET, MPC, CNQ. They all got some really large dark pools. And yeah, that's it.
All right. That's it.
That's
He
it.
says that's it. And I normally when Hell sends me a message and he says he's gonna be right back, or he's got something he's got to go do, and I got to close the show. I don't say what that message is, but the DM that I got just now, well, a few minutes ago, he said, "Need to uncover the wood. Be right back." So I don't know,
There's so many meanings to that.
so many.
So actually,
potential.
I have to. We've had rain, and it looks like we're going to have good weather here for the next few days. So it's like when it's raining, I have to cover the wood so it's dry for the winter, and it's still kind of airing out a little bit. When the sun's out, I uncover the wood, so it.
You really
dries,
think that
out.
we couldn't infer that? Like, yes, I understand what it means, but it's not nearly as entertaining.
Yeah, I know. It's like I uncover a lot of wood around here.
You're asking people if they like the schnitzel. So,
Oh, man. All right, everyone. I guess we're going to have a good day today. Hell or high water. Let's go get it.
It's Friday. Don't fuck it up. We look at the dollar real quick.
How it's giving back and we're stuck on stupid.
Daily.
Yeah. No, it gave back the entire pop, and we're stuck on stupid. The witches be in town, yo. The witches.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously we get some funky. OPEX is always interesting as far as flow is concerned. It's like some of the stuff.
It's really hard to watch it, man. It's really hard to get an eye on. Even the following days, it's like you're going to see a lot of in the money expiring stuff firing off today, and you're going to see some fairly big bets being placed. But it's like, deciphering hedge versus not hedge, and understanding that even when you're getting large lines, you still need supporting flow.
Yeah.
And I think, man, dollar just bleeding out. It's going to be a day, boy. It's going to be a real day.
Yeah, try not to kick your own ass today.
I started off well this morning, down several $100. This is good. Hashtag winning.
Cut if happy.
No shit. All right.
All right.
I am long right here. I'm up one. I'm up a hole.
All right.
I'm up a hole.
Well, good luck with that. We got about 15 minutes till the open. 15 minutes. Don't fuck it up. Screw up your weekend.
Exactly. See you soon.
See y'all next week.